Back to Dante, please.
Yeah. Right, we're just sorting the stream out, everyone. We'll just have a little chat, me and Tim. We've only got 15 minutes left of the session anyway, so we'll just have a chat while the boys are on the case, and we'll get it all sorted for you. It's just a slight technical issue. But basically, we were just having a chat before we went off about sort of making like the EV, how many tournaments you have to play in certain spots if you make like 0.05.
Yeah, you need to play like so many. That's why like online it's perfectly fine to do that, and like which is why like a lot of the theory has been like diverged from like the online theory, because like online players, you can play 1,000 tournaments and make that EV back, but in live poker you really can't, which is why like when you guys play blackjack, you know, you guys, what it is plus EV to like, you know, double 11 against a picture, but no one ever does it because it's like, shit, it's too much. It's like, yeah, because you don't have unlimited bankroll. You know, you can't do this 1,000 times, can you? That's why you don't do it, and why you shouldn't do it, because you know you can't even out that variance. It's like same as poker, like, you know, you are making a small edge, but how often am I going to play a tournament? How often am I going to make the final 2 tables of a tournament? Blah blah blah. You know, you can't make that like EV back. So like you rather take a bigger EV shot. You know.
It makes so much sense, yeah.
So yeah, like even like going back to the blackjack, like blackjack's probably one of the worst. It's fun. It's the most fun one probably because you're more interactive playing it, but it's probably the most minus EV one. Like so many people, they will lose money in poker and then be like, oh, I'm gonna go blackjack to win my money back. Let's pretend you lost £1,000 in a tournament or a cash game. They're like, I'm gonna win my £1,000 back.
Yeah.
So the problem with that is when people play blackjack, it's kind of capped to how much they win, right? Like people always have a goal with blackjack because it's like one of those where you're just winning single increments where. You know, I sit with 1,000, I bet 100, I bet 100, and you're trying to win 1,000, but like you're not really trying to win 3 or 4. Whereas roulette, you know, you can just smash it on, right? You win, you're on a run. I'll go for one more run. You can win like thousands and thousands, like you know, you can spin up, but you don't spin up in blackjack really. And everyone has like kind of a cap, especially when they're like, I just want my buy-in back, or I want to win money for the tournament. So like, you know, a lot of people do that when they play tournaments. I just want to win 1,000, then I'm happy. So then they're risking. Maybe more than 1,000. They'll originally get their 1,000 out to win their 1,000, but they're like, shit, I lost. Let me get another one. I'll get another one. So technically, you're risking 4,000 to win 1,000 up to. So like, you know, you're getting really bad. You're getting a really bad price there. Like, you know, so blackjack, as much as it looks like 49% or 48%, whatever you want, if you're playing perfect strat, it's so much worse because you're willing to risk more. Yeah. But you only want to win X amount. You never sit down with blackjack with 1,000 and be like, hey, I want to win 4K, like never, right? Like that doesn't happen. People just want to like, I win 1,000, 1,500, just go home.
Sense,
so
that makes sense. But
going
back to that, that's all related to poker at the table, not just making the play that seems quick that may make you a little bit of money. Tim was going on about what's going to make you the most money, and that's not what a lot of people do, especially in these fields. If you're aware of the opponents at the table with you, you can find spots which are going to make you more money than say the standard spot, as it can be called across the day. But yeah, it's a good little insight from Tim actually. It's very interesting myself to talk about it. We are working on the stream at the moment, but we are just going to find out what's happening. Give me these. Right, I've just been told by the team we're going to have a little reset, so we're going on break in 10 minutes anyway, so we're going to leave you guys. We're going to be back about 2:45 with the coverage, and then we should be good for the rest of the day. Tim might come and pop in again throughout the day. It's been really good to hear some different insights, and I've really enjoyed it. I hope you guys have, and we're going to be back at 2:45. Thanks for Tim joining us today, and you might see him in the booth as well later. But thanks guys, sorry about the slight delay, but we will be back as soon as possible.
Just make sure he's got the right deal. And somebody walks on stage with 2 bottles of beer in his hand, and he's like, "Yeah, well, it's only 7 figures." Yeah.
Because it was either Fraser Mac
Yeah.
who was very notorious at the time for doing every deal, wasn't he? He was always there, kind of. Or it was Feraldo, who I kind of knew but didn't know as well as I know him now. And I remember Toby Stone came up and he said, "You're only allowed one person to come in up and kind of helping you." And Frasmack was like, "Right, yeah, it's me, it's me." And I was going, Feraldo, I'll take you, which was probably a mistake because Feraldo was half cut, wearing a hat, holding beers, as you say. But actually, he was really good because you basically only get a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
I was completely lost in like the whole what was going on, and he was very just like, "You need to do this, this, and this. You shouldn't do this." And he basically gave me some really good advice, actually. And yeah, from there onwards, I think I said something along the lines of, "Well, we don't have to deal. I don't care about the money," which is a complete lie. I was desperate for a deal. I just literally just wanted to do it. And I was like, "Oh, well, if you guys want to do a deal, up to you. I'm not bothered about the money. Just trying to get more money out of it, obviously." And then as soon as it was done, I was like, "Right, this is the greatest thing ever. I can just do whatever." But yeah.
Obviously, went straight to bed afterwards.
Again, that was an absolute. I'll actually tell you something as well. We basically went out afterwards, and I basically got mugged. Well, not mugged. I basically got robbed because I actually had no money on me. I basically won all this money, and we basically had organised, this kind of massive thing afterwards that cost loads of money, and I didn't have any money. So I went round almost every person that was there and asked them for money, just like a massive pigeon, just like, "If you got 500, if you got 200. And after an hour and a half, I'd collected something like, I don't know, it was like 10 or 15,000 euros in cash. And I basically put the euros in my pocket. And obviously around there in Barcelona on those beaches and stuff, everyone's watching. Within 5 minutes, Phil, that had been swiped. So when the bill came, it was like, "You need to pay." I had no money, so I had to then go round again. I had to ask everyone for a second time, and everyone's going, "Well, I've just paid you 1,000. What's going on? You basically just won this million." So yeah, it was like the best time to ever be robbed because you didn't care because you kind of cashed all this money. But yeah, I basically got done for about 15 grand.
Wow. And on that note, we'll be back with Mr. Steve Warburton and more stories very shortly. Welcome back to Mr. Steve Warburton and an hour with the Tower. Huge 2015 that we were talking about before. Absolutely huge. 2016. Did you slow down? Did you play more cash? Was it a case of I'm not travelling around too much?
It's so hard to think when 2016 was in terms of what was happening. I'm pretty sure I was still playing, as in like tournaments and things. But now, kind of looking back, you kind of have these purple patches, don't you? There are so many players that they'll have a cash, and then you'll see them cash again and again and again. And then for like the next 12 months, they just kind of don't. And I don't know. I don't know if it's confidence or what just happens. But yeah, I was still playing in 2016 quite a bit, and obviously not having the cashes I was having the previous year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know as well. I never really got carried away with tournaments. I was never really one to play 60 events of the World Series or every single GPT and stuff. I was always quite kind of level-headed.
But one of them you do like, as we can see, GUKPT Manchester. You've got so many entries in the database, 2018 to 14, 2020 for 20th. You got so many cashing 3 of the last 4 years. It has to be the favourite stop. I know it's your local one, it's your home one, but is it classed as your favourite stop?
It's the favourite stop because it makes up for all the other GUKPTs that I'm just doing my money in. I can't go to Luton or Walsall or Bolton and just do 4 or 5 buy-ins.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like with Manchester, I'm always trying that little bit harder because home stop, most players, the kind of great camaraderie of people. So that's always fun. But yeah, I've no idea if I don't know. I think I'm probably slightly up on GUKPTs because of that
Yeah.
Sort of shot with Deadman and Thingy, but I've put a lot of money into them, don't you? Don't you worry about that. Yeah.
Norwegian Championships came to Britain, and they started being played around the country. You had three tournaments where you cashed for well over 60,000. I heard they used to be crazy. I heard the cash tables used to be mad as well. Was that one of the reasons why you played them?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the absolute best stop on the calendar every year is the Irish Open. It's getting better and better. I think it's going to be the biggest it's ever going to be next year.
Yeah.
I basically booked my flights in January this year for it. Obviously, it got cancelled because of everything that's going on. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they're having 60 or 70 cash game tables every single night.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's just crazy. You just don't see that anymore. And yeah, again, it's a little bit like what I was saying in the 2015 WPT in Amsterdam. Everyone's just on the same wavelength. You know, everyone's chatting away, and do you know what I mean? It's kind of how poker should be. You know, there's tanking, no one's dressed silly, there's no without talking, trying to, you know, like piss people off and stuff. It's just kind of nice, fun poker, and yeah, it was a good one, yeah, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Your strangest ever Hendon Mob entry. Blackpool Tuesday nights, free roll. 60 entries. You finished 7th for 40 quid. And it ended up being on the Hendon Mob. That's please explain what happened. Why? Why is it there?
I think I maybe need to blame PK for researching this, don't I? I don't really know how that's on. I think that's £15 entry or something.
I'll just check up on Steve Warburton so we can have a nice chat while we're all in lockdown and we've not had a haircut for 3 months, and we get it was a free roll on a Tuesday night and there were 60 runs.
Times were tough, Tower. Times were tough. That 1.8 million you were talking about before had gone. I had nothing left.
Oh, brilliant.
I remember what happened. We basically gone to Blackpool to watch I don't know if we're watching the darts or a
oh, right, okay. And
we all rang Dina, and we made Dina extend the late reg just so we could get to this thing. And it was one of those classic ones where you basically want to bust quite soon so you can go to the bar and just have a few drinks. But I ended up final table in it. Yeah, ridiculous.
The UK Poker Championships in 2018, the Eye Roller. Your final table, you finished 8th for 7,000. That wasn't the story. The story was Mr. Jake. The story was Mr. Jake Cody and the viral video that you were involved in, and crazy scenes. How did that all come about?
How long have we got?
Well, is it really that long?
The short version, what I remember is we'd all been out the night before, and I mean we'd all been out to the point of, in day 2 of this tournament, there was 5 or 6 people who hadn't arrived. You know, Jake for one, not mention names for other people, but Ludo and all the Scottish boys.
Yeah.
And with about, 50 people left, I remember Jake saying, if I win this tournament, it'll be so unjust that I'll put it all on black. And Ludo was on the rail, and Ludo heard this, and he never shut up about it from 50 all the way down. He was on the rail with the drink, obviously, and he said this. And all of a sudden, me and Jake were on this final. I have no idea how I was there or he was there. First thing he did was get shots for the table and stuff. He had the tournament director literally over every hand because he was showing cards and chat. You know what I mean? He was just whatever. And so I think he got 3-handed, and I'm not entirely sure. I think they might have done a deal, did they, or something? Or
I'm not sure how it ended. All I saw was the video about an hour later. Was it straight after the? Was it literally straight after the tournament finished?
It was literally straight after, and obviously when I busted, I was sulking because I always sulk when I bust. I basically went and played cash. And then the next thing I remember, honestly, is Jake coming up to me and saying, I don't really want to do this, but I've kind of been forced into it. Rob Young, by the way, Young had walked in the casino to pick up his car keys. So he wasn't even going to be there. And he basically heard from Scally, Jake basically wants to do this. Rob being Rob was just like, yeah, fine. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's kind of gone from I don't want to do this, Swarbs, to us marching over to the table. It's all in, and then like there's just no chance that Jake's ever going to lose there. By the way, and I was like slightly fuming that we didn't all get more on ourselves, like because it's like that's Jake. And also, the other thing was Rob basically said if it went on 0, that would be a chop as well.
Oh, so, nice one.
Yeah, it was a proper good bet, really. But
brilliant. You know, I remember the video on it. It just went absolutely mad, didn't it? It just went viral, and the shouting and the screaming.
It's just ridiculous how it happened, because it wasn't. It's just not really a thing that was like planned. It just kind of happened randomly, organically, and then obviously it was again a really sick night after that. But
absolutely. Yeah. But then we head over to
Canada. More responsibly, you're supposed to say after that, Carol.
oh yes, absolutely. Do what Jake Cody
did. It's not big and it's not clever.
But we're still travelling. We end up in Canada, the Bahamas. I know we do Vegas on a regular basis, but it's not bad, is it? There playing a few card games for travelling the world, is it? It's not that bad.
I mean, over these past 3 times 10 minutes or whatever, it sounds like it's all like roses and money and it's all amazing. But I mean, it is quite tough at times. I've had probably 2 18-month to 2-year periods of just not winning. You almost feel like you can't win a hand.
Yeah.
Having said that, super lucky to do what I do. Like it's fantastic to meet everyone, and I still get that buzz when you go deep in a live tournament. That's great. I've never really been one for playing, 16 tables online tournaments. I used to play heads up cash and short-handed cash online, but that buzz you get from tournaments is good, and all these kind of party poker stops and things. Like recently they've been amazing. And Montreal, Bahamas, like you say, are absolutely fantastic places. So you can't knock it. You can't knock it. Yeah.
Absolutely not. One of your best friends, Andreas Olympius. You've got a lot of friends in poker, but railing Andreas for his WPT. Is that ex-best friend?
He's been stolen away.
No way.
So Dre has fallen in love.
Oh, good lad.
He's fallen in love. He's absolutely whipped to the core. So we never see him anymore. He's finished.
But just tell us what it was like being on the rail for Dre's WPT.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah. I actually forgot about that one. Yeah, that was a really good one. There's probably 20 of us on the rail. I remember him messaging me the night before he final tabled. We were actually living together, but I hadn't seen him for maybe 2 days or whatever. And I think this was his last tournament, and he'd sold a bit of action to people as well. And he'd not had the best summer, and this was like the kind of final straw. And it was like some sort of turbo, and he was down to, one big blind or half a big blind, and he'd spun that half a big blind to 15 big blinds, then made the final, and then all of a sudden I'm kind of getting the message saying, right, I've made the final, let's go down. So we basically all went down 4 or 5 handed. What's that? Do you remember that guy who came second in the World Series main? Is it Jay Farber? Is his name?
Oh, you were asking me to remember.
I think it's called Farber. It's like the kind of guy that basically runs like the Vegas nightclubs.
Oh, okay.
He's basically trying to organise some sort of deal between the last 4 or 5, because I think he's got a piece of the guy or whatever. so basically, me and Drake decided that we basically didn't want to do a deal. And so we had to pretend that we were ringing our backup back home. and saying, "Is it okay to do this deal?" Completely lied and just blagged it and said, "Oh no, I'm sorry, we can't do the deal because our backer in England is saying no." This was all complete nonsense. Just because we thought that Dre would basically win because he was playing well, and it was like I think there was 5 left. He was definitely the best player, and then from there, it was the best final table of all time. He just won 6 of 6 all-ins.
Yeah.
Everyone was constantly cheering. It was fantastic. That is probably the best final table I've ever read.
Always seemed to be the bridesmaid, but he came up trumps at the WPT. It was,
and it was great because Dre's a fantastic guy. You know, he's such a nice guy. So it was great to see.
Yeah, we are just about to end an hour with the tower, so we're going to quickly run through some quick fire questions if you're ready.
Go on then.
The best poker player you've played against?
Midi, by far, Tom Middleton. He will put you under it like no man you've ever seen. You can go out for a beer, you can go out for dinner with Midi, and 2 minutes later you'll be on the poker table and it'll just be putting you bang under it. Tom Middleton.
Who is your poker nemesis?
Tom Middleton. No, it is though. It's not even. It is Midi. Every time I play with him, I probably win 1 of 30 hands. And if you play it live, you probably only play 6 or 7 a time. So, yeah, Midi.
The most underrated poker player you know?
Did you ever watch Catchphrase?
Yes.
And there was a guy who got asked the questions at the end, and he kept saying Turkey, Turkey, Turkey. This is me saying Midi, Midi, Midi. Midi is an unbelievably highly rated player, but I still think he's the most underrated player, genuinely. Because, I don't know, when you kind of talk to people, they think he's good, but I genuinely don't think people realise how good he is. He's got absolutely no fear playing live. And let's move on to the next question because my cock is so far up the top. I need to stop.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be? To see these cards.
No. Do you know what I'd do if I had a superpower? Of all the things you could do, I would attach a zip to Wilkersooth's mouth and I would close it forever. And let's leave it at that.
Favourite food?
God, favourite food? Where's that come from?
Question that we just thought.
Huge fan of going out with everyone and eating together and stuff. I like all foods. I'm a huge fan of like a guacamole. I'd like to put guacamole in everything.
And finally, would you do anything differently?
At the time, a lot of things, but I'm not really one for dwelling on what you've done in the past. You can only move on, mate, can't you? So nah.
Awesome. Steve Warburton, you've been an absolute superstar. And when I said at the beginning of this, I
believed you. I genuinely believed you.
One of my favourites. I 100% mean it because you are one of the nicest guys to sit down, to chat, to laugh, shoulder to cry on if you want it, and you've been there and done.
Yeah. I love you, buddy.
You're an absolute star. Steve Warburton, thank you very much. And thanks, everybody, for watching An Hour with the Tower. Ta-ta. We've been surviving. We've been doing all right, and it's great that you come to join us for An Hour with the Tower.
Yeah,
we're going to try and run through a little bit of what's happened to Steve Warburton, probably over the last 10 or 12 years career.
I play poker now. Everyone still sort of sees me as like the kind of young kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a few years, isn't it? I first started playing when I was like 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
And I was a sort of typical kid. I had no idea what I kind of wanted to do for a living, except for the fact that I didn't want to work for anyone. So, you know, when you were growing up, you're always asked, what do you want to do? What do you want? Never had an answer. Except for, I don't know why, I just always said I never really wanted to work for someone. So when I started university, I kind of had this plan, which was to not really go to university and just basically use the student loan and basically start playing poker from there.
Yeah.
Which didn't really go down too well. I remember my dad specifically wasn't very happy that I was, quitting university, and I've got quite a few aunties that are all teachers, and so I kind of had this master plan of just get this, kind of $3,000 student loan, and all of a sudden the rest of my life will just be sorted, which has kind of happened. So yeah, I basically went to university. I went to the first lecture that was on a Thursday morning at 9 a.m. And I remember turning up thinking, I'm just not going to come back. But I kind of had to tell it a few porkies the rest of the year, pretending I was going, I was committed.
Yeah.
All I was doing was just playing 1-2 cash games in the Manchester G from the age of about 18 years old.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how I got started. I kind of played some £5 sitting goes with friends when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was just, and it was relentless back then. It was like 5 or 6 games every night, waiting lists, constant action, just everyone was coming through the door. What's this game? Do you know what I mean? No one could really play. Every pot was maybe 4 or 5 way. None of this kind of check calling, taking ages. It was so exciting when you first started playing it, especially for me anyway. And I just loved it. I was playing till 6 a.m. every night. Moved to Manchester. It was so exciting. It was this game that you didn't need to be that good at. You just kind of need to be better than your average Joe sort of thing. And it was fantastic. So
the early days were all cash.
All cash. What are you drinking, by the way, Tower?
Water. Believe it or not.
Jesus. I thought I could rely on you, mate. Come on. Right.
Come on, son. You first
drink, just so you know, I've got some Pims.
Yes, very nice, very posh.
Saturday afternoon, and I've also got a nice Peroni as well. Just so you know. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Multi drinking as well, mate. So you've played cash, but then you go on to your first ever Hendon mob. Can you remember what it was?
Oh, first ever Hendon mob. Well, basically,
I'll tell you it was a win.
Oh, I know what it was. So I was playing cash games every night. I thought tournaments were stupid. I thought tournaments were the most ridiculous thing ever, and it was too fast, and I wanted to kind of play deep and all this stuff. Yeah. Nothing much has kind of changed over the years, but I played, I think it was Walsall, right? £100 side event.
That's exactly what it was.
I played £100 side event, and it finished at about 5:45. Yeah. They told us that if it got to 6 o'clock, then they were just going to say whoever had the most chips won.
That's when they closed at 6 a.m. That's correct.
Yeah, and I basically folded something like 15 hands heads up. So I'd fold. It was on him. He'd raise. I'd fold. And then they told us this, and I moved all in with Jack 5 offsuit. I got called by Jacks. Won the hand, and then won the next 2 hands, and basically won it. Obviously, looking back now, I had no idea what I was doing heads up. I was folding all these hands heads up and whatever, but yeah, that was my first one, I think.
Yeah, and then your first 7 cashes ended up being on GUKPT side events and APAT side events. So I'm not being funny, but I'm not being funny. You played cash, but every time you seem to play GUKPT or on APAT, you seem to cash in the sides.
Yeah, I think that was more to do with the cash games weren't as kind of good as they were. I was fairly lazy about, I'm like studying back then, and now people study just an insane amount of things, and so you kind of go with the flow of, okay, what's next on is GUKPT Bolton or Walsall or London, and so you're almost kind of forced into it. I didn't have lots of money back then, but when you've got maybe 10 grand to your name and there's a £500 tournament on, you kind of go with the flow. And it's all about people as well, Towers. When you play live, you just meet people every day. You're playing cash games maybe 8 to 12 hours a day. You meet people all the time, and people talk, and where are you going next week? Oh, there's this thing on. And so it was very strange how I kind of got into tournaments. It was more kind of, that was what everyone was doing, and you know what I mean? So that's kind of where it kind of
Well,
started.
it's a good job you went into side events, because in May 2011, you do realise that's nearly 10 years ago. May 2011, your first 5 figures cash for 11,000 at the Salford Megastack.
Raf White was running that.
Yeah.
And he said, I remember him saying something like, and this is one of my first tournaments, if you don't play, you're in trouble. And I was saying, oh, Raf, I don't really play tournaments. And, and he was saying, you basically got to come down and stuff. And I remember we had 2 tables left. And Alex Martin was like the kind of big player back then.
Yeah.
And I think I knocked him out. And then from there, I won the tournament. And then probably after that, I was thinking, oh, tournaments are actually all right, aren't they? Completely being results orientated to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much after that one was when I kind of started playing them more regularly. Yeah.
Did that first 5 figure cash go straight into the bankroll, or was it just like party time?
Pretty sure that doubled the bankroll.
Yeah. Well, that's you got to start. You have to start somewhere.
Honestly, Tal, for probably the first 4 or 5 years I played poker, I had between 1,000 and £9,000 or £10,000, and never ever got beyond that.
Yeah.
I was just playing low stakes. You kind of win a few quid here and lose a few quid there.
What are you doing? I went away for 10 minutes.
One job I had, keep the stream going.
10 minutes. How was Tim?
Good, really good.
Yeah.
He's just got really good insights, like things that people don't think about, and it's really good to actually. I enjoy talking to him because I'll take everything in that he says, and it gives you a really good insight.
How can you have a craps table strategy?
Oh, well, Tim was talking about blackjack and relating it to poker, and how, and then Jim Marlowe, being Jim Marlowe, has his ways, doesn't he? But we're back. Everything's up and running again. We should be good for the rest of the day.
Where did you leave the proceedings?
We left with, I believe we had Nicolay just busted. That's it. We left with 14 left. Nicolay busted, and we've still got 14, I believe. 13. So we have 13 players, I believe.
Right. Let's get back to the action.
Well, we had 13. Sorry, guys, but we missed a bit of action. Dan Cholton actually busted in the 15 minutes before the break, just before the break, as well as Mike Allen. So we lost Dan Cholton and Mike Allen just before the break, 13th and 12th respectively, which leaves us with 11 players. Is that right, Taylor? No? Who else has gone?
Jess.
Jess is out.
I spoke to her. I was sat listening to you two. And she said, and the stream went down, and she went last hand before the break. She only had 5 bigs.
So we got 10 left.
So we've got 10 left.
Oh wow!
So we
on the final table bubble.
We're on the final table bubble. She did tell me she had Queen 10
against Ace 9 of spades at Dan Cholton. We saw that. Yeah, we saw that hand.
She had that Queen 10, and then she only had 5 bigs left, and she had. 9-10 suited, and she ran into an ace, and she didn't hit, and that was it.
So Sharon,
fantastic effort from Jess Pilkington for £3,740 for 11th. We are now on 10 players and the bubble for the final table. We are back live. It was an unforeseen error, whatever it was. So there we go. Hi Claire. Yeah, great listening to Tim Chung. Won millions in his time. Such a great listen to. And as Jay said, you can learn a lot off him. And also, obviously, listening to Jay as well. These two are on a different level.
That's the great thing about this game as well, Taylor. No matter how good you are at poker, there's always new things to learn, always new things to take in. You can always got to be looking at it from every different perspective. And there's so much that actually goes into this game that really good to get someone like Tim in the box and obviously give us his insights on the game as well, and just listen to all the good players out there, listen to what they say, take it on board, and it will just make you a better poker player. But you'll have one good player who has a different insight to a different good player. It doesn't mean they're not good, it just means they have different ways of making their chips, and it's just really, really good listening it was, and I hope you all enjoyed it like I did.
It was awesome.
Jack Hill, has the password been given out for the free roll?
I don't even know what it is.
I'll tell you what, I've put it in the commands on Twitch.
Have you?
If anyone wants to get the password up on Twitch, it's in.
I'm going to log in right now. Make me open Grosvenor Poker. Get me opening up.
Password is out for our live stream free roll. Obviously, we'll be covering the main event. We've got 10 players remaining. Jess was our 11th place finisher, taking home £3,740. Good score for her. Elliot, where have these chips come from?
Ellie, baby.
1.3
Goliath
million.
winner.
Makes it 50k. And Majid in the small blind here. Ace Jack of Hearts with 5-handed. This is a big hand, 5-handed here. And last thing I'm going to see Majid do here is fold. And he actually opts to 3-bet this one. Majid playing 42 big blinds. And glad to see him 3-bet here. And Thomas with the pocket 9s here, 5-handed, manages to get away from him with 12 big blinds correctly as well, may I add. And Elliot here, 5-handed with the jacks, probably just going to set this one all in. Oh, okay, he's going to flat the jacks and go post flop. Maybe he just perceives me, Majid,
there it is,
to be tight, and he's not going to have no bluffs here in this particular spot. But Jack's 5-handed is a monster. But Elliot just opts to flat. Majid realises equity and actually hits the ace here on the flop, and going to come in for a continue here straight off the bat. And action over to Elliot here now, and this is the one card that we didn't want to see on the board when we did flat in position. 210 is the continue, 210 into 370, just over half pot. And a little split screen coming on for us now. Love that little feature. And Elliot just makes this disciplined fold with the jacks, just gives his opponent credit for an ace and gets out of the way. So there it is, carpet catcher, the first one in. Password for the free roll on the Grosvenor client. Kicking off at 6 p.m. is Westgate. Westgate is the password. All lowercase as well, I should add, no caps. Westgate is the password for the free roll. If you win that, you have a ticket into our GUKPT closer tomorrow at 7 p.m. And all the hands are out in force. Andrew's got kings here in the cutoff, playing 18 big blinds. Don't want to just open rip this one, wants to be opening. The kings want to get value from some worse hands. No need to just shove here. Just want to come in for a raise, as it looks like he's doing. Makes it 75. 75k. 3.75x open at this stage of the tournament with kings. Gets the ace-9 of clubs out of the way. We just opened 40k, standard size. Might get some action there from Majid, but in this scenario, we've gone a bit too large. And no action for us with the kings.
Cameras on. Cameras. Well, there is. They're just wrong. we on the bubble? They don't do the
Hand no
hand
more.
fan for the final table, which I think is great because play just continues as normal, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah. Oh, I can imagine. If somebody's tanking on the outer tables, I'm sure there's a koi, you, calm down. So 10-20 with a... Why did it say 10 ante?
5-handed. Half
Oh, do they do half ante at 10 and then back to normal ante?
half
I see,
ante,
that's clever.
half ante, 5-handed or less towel.
That's clever. I see.
And Sharon moves in with her last 14 bigs. Majid's not going to be calling this one off.
Yeah.
Afternoon, Phil Christie says, when is the next event? Well, there we are. We'll put it up for you. You can have a look.
What we're looking at?
We are looking at the next event.
Where are we going?
Phil's just asked. We're off to
Where are we
Edinburgh
going?
next Wednesday. We will be there. Coverage starts on the Thursday. That's when the main event starts. You can see the schedule there. And down below, if you have a look as well, we've got the satellite 225 buy-in. Try and win yourself a £1,500 package to Edinburgh. That includes a bullet and $750 expenses. So great promotion.
That's a
The guys are
fantastic.
putting
That's a
on there.
fantastic satellite, by the way.
And also should mention for this event, we have an online day one on Wednesday the 29th, and that starts at 8 p.m. And if you do want to play the online day one, that is on the Grosvenor client. And Dan Rogers asks, is Jess still in? No, Jess was our last bust out. She finished in 11th place for £3,740. We are now 10-handed.
So yeah, it's literally a soft hand for hand because they do monitor any kind of slow play from the short stacks or any kind of slow play from a certain play on a regular basis. They will monitor it. Oh, I didn't have a loser either on Towers Treble. The fourth time we had 2 winners and 2 draws. We were unlucky. I didn't even realise that Rotherham United had drew until half an hour after the final whistle. As I turned all my bet when the first bet came in and then they'd lost, I just turned all the scores off. And apparently Rotherham United had like a 95th minute equaliser against them, penalty and all that malarkey. And I also thought Leeds drew and they didn't. So, never mind. Concentrating now on the final 10 players here in Leeds. Anybody going to stop Jack Hardcastle? Well, Neil Bromley's going along it the best way he can.
Yeah, Adam, that bluff he ran against Dan Cholton, you didn't see it, Tower.
I didn't.
It was a massive pot between Adam Bromley and Dan Cholton. Dan Cholton turned 2 pair, coming for the check raise. Adam called, and then Dan went big on the river, and Dan just ripped it in his face, turned top pair into a bluff with the straight blocker, and got a crazy move, but worked to perfection, and he's right up there now, over 1 million chips. Lovely to see that was from Adam Bromley. I really like stuff
Nice
like
one,
that.
Adam.
How many left? Arse Red Kings. We are down to 10 players. This is what we're playing for. £72,000 up top. It's great, great money. And Elliot Moraes already had a final table this week in the 30-30. Going to open the pocket sevens to 40k.
It's a form game, they do tell you that.
Final table the mini in Coventry, I should add as well.
Yep. On the outer tables, we have Ryan Mandara, Adam Bromley, Vixie Yao, Jack Hardcastle and James Williams. They are the 5 players on the outer table. The next time we table change will be for the final. and all 9 players coming together for the final and a chance of winning the trophy and 72,200. We started today with 19, and one by one they were eliminated. Gary Whitehead first out, Will McMurray lost to Flip and was next out. Then Jamie O'Connor had an absolute brutal cold deck. Paul Grummett went out in 16th. Stu Rutter, Nikolai Pomenerov in 14th. Dan Charlton in 13th. Michael Allen in 12th. And last person out was Jessica Pilkington in 11th, which means we're on 10.
Fold round to Sharon on the button. She's going to open off of 16 big blinds with the Jack 10. And Elliot here could have potentially shoved this. You see a lot more of it online, especially 5-handed. We've got a suited ace. The effective stack is 17 big blinds. Could have potentially just moved all in against the button open, but Elliot opting for the more passive approach. Just spoke about this a lot with Tim actually, gave us a very good insight into it all. You don't always have to take these spots that are going to make you small amount of big blinds over the long run. You can take the more lower variance option if you think you're at a table that's you're going to have a bit of an edge on. Keep the variance low.
I'm in the free roll. I am in the free roll. I am in the free roll. The password is Westgate. Westgate, all one word. 21 others in at the moment. It doesn't start till 6, so we'll remind you plenty of times regarding that.
So Sharon's got the ace queen. She makes it 60k. Opens to 3x. Action going to be on Majid in the big blind, who just snap folds that one. Sharon opting for the 3x size there, not getting any action. It's great at this stage of the tournament. Average stack over 40 big blinds tower just shows you what an amazing structure this is. I say it every time, it's just so much play involved all the way down to the finish, and really great for the players. Got plenty of time to choose when they want to get their money in, when to pick their spots. No rush at all on the 60-minute clock. You may not know this one, Tav. I've got a little question for you. Have we ever had two ladies on a final table of the GUKPT main event? Because I can't recall since
in the same comp.
In the same comp. I can't recall since I've been doing it. I don't know if you can go back through the.
Not unless Sin
through
Melling
the
was on the same final table as Vicky Corrin in London.
See if we can find out. Because definitely could have a FT today with two ladies on it. Big C out on the outer table. She's chipped up massively through the first session. Had that Cooler versus Boz.
Yeah. I think Sim Mellon came 9th in one of the last GUKPTs that she was on that final table there. So I keep forgetting it's touched. It's a touch screen. I keep pointing at Jay's.
Yeah, she did come 9th, right out. No, Vicky Corin Mitchell though.
Ah. Well, that was the one with the 8-way chop, wasn't it? Or
1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way chop.
5-way chop. And I know she final table Luton.
Ah,
Yes, tie.
There we are.
Yeah.
There we are. Tie and Sin Mellon back in 2013 at Luton with 2 ladies on the FT.
There we go.
Found out just like that. Towers' knowledge of past GUKPTs, never missed the main event, this man. He's been at every single one since the start.
Do you need double vaccination to go into a casino? No was the answer. Yeah, sorry, I just typed in no just as a reply. The question was, do you need to be double vaccinated to go into a casino? No, you don't get asked. There was an 8-way chop in commentary for the final event, the 200-pounder. That's Catherine Watson cashed. Well done to Catherine. Just started playing again. Plays every Friday in Coventry because it says that's the best comp they have. And Emily chopped it this week in Coventry.
Oh yeah, of course she did. Obviously, her other half, Ryan, still in the field. As Thomas going to have an easy continue here with the overpair on this board. Comes in for Bet and Elliot with Queen 10, 2 overs, backdoor third nut, flush draw. We are out of position, just can't do much there, but get out of the way.
Yeah, we started with 19 today, we're now on 10. 2 5-handed tables. Thorpe's got a tenner at on Thomas High at 40 to 1.
There you go.
Delicious.
So 4 round blind on blind here. Elliot going to give his opponent a walk. 10 deuce, just not good enough hand to get involved with. And Wise Inge on Twitch says my money is on Big C. There's a lot of people with bets on. It's a great additive to the tour, I must say. I really enjoy that there's a book on day 3 for the players left in. It just gives people that are watching that little added sweat if they've got someone in the field still and chance of winning the bet. It's a really good additive to the tour. As Thomas opens the 9-8 suited under the gun, makes it 45. It's folded round to the blinds. And he gets out of the way. Majid going to fold the 9-5 and raise and take for Thomas. I am a flush, says Hightower. How are you, sir?
We are all good, thank you very much. I'm a flush. Not seen you on the chat for quite a while. Where have you been? What have you been up to? What's been happening in the world of I'm a flush?
folds round to Andy on the button.
Playing live in Walsall, awesome. Yeah, slowly but surely everything's getting back to normal, isn't it?
Raise and take, Andy on the button, opening 87 off. Like to see it once it's folded to him. At this particular table though, I really like Elliot. He's got the chip lead at it, so maybe start opening a few more hands. Where five-handed needs to have that understanding that five-handed we can open very, very wide. And I just think we've got a really good table here with our particular stack sizes. Elliot, the outer table is definitely a lot tougher, and if I'm Elliot, I'm going to try and take a foothold, and it seems like people are going to be overfolding this spot. They want to get to the final table, and potentially we have a chance to chip up. Like 8-6 suited there under the gun from Elliot, five-handed, just open it, just open the hand. We've got the chips to do it, and it seems like this table definitely going to be playing a bit tighter than usual. Obviously Thomas is in there. If Thomas High can get some chips. What I've heard about him is an unknown to me, but I've heard some good things. He can definitely chip up as well. Action on Majid here with the Queen Jack on the button, just open and take. But yeah, 52 bigs here for Elliot. Elliot here.
He would.
Elliot shoving the queens here over Andy's open under the gun. This is fine from Elliot. Andy got 15.5 bigs back, so Elliot just moves in for 15 bigs effective, and Andy just gets out of the way.
Brad Simpson's just joined us. He's off working again. 10 left. 2 tables of 5. How many played the seniors?
There was 15 to start,
There was.
and I'm unaware of how many's in now, but Tower, I'm sure will let us know.
That number in the top right hand corner. That's good, that.
Yeah.
Good, that. That means Tower's good.
Yeah, I'll have muffin, please, thank you.
See, we'll swap you a Malteser for a muffin.
King 10 suited for Thomas makes it 45k. This is going to be raise and take 6 deuce, not going to be defending in the big blind. Obviously can defend very wide, but them trash holdings just got to go into the muck. Cheers, Brad. Thanks for popping in for 2-3 minutes.
Don't think it's going to be an early one. With 10 left, could be an hour, 2 hours with getting to the final table, and there's some great players in this. This is going to play out for a long time. Long time. This is great. This has been awesome. The seniors. How many old people in Leeds? 77. 77. 77. It finishes at 8 o'clock, so you all have to go to bed.
Yes, Michael, password for the free roll is Westgate, all lowercase. Cheers, Brad. Thanks for the nice compliment as always.
77. That's brilliant. That is so good. 77, 58 running. At this moment in time, there are no cash tables running as we speak. One cash table running. Oh, we've got a cash table in the corner.
Should we show them on the camera, Tower?
We've got a 2-2 PLO.
Get the app up.
Yeah. Yes, if you want to check. Oh. Then I get told off because my phone's not on charge. There we go. The Poker Live app right at the top. Omaha 2-2, 6 players running. And don't forget, you can check that with any club in the country. Click on the cash part of the app, and you just scroll across tournaments, cash, previous tournaments, and all that. And it's great. And then you can put your name down there. You can lock up a seat on there via the app. Get yourself for a certain amount of time to get to the club. And don't forget, from 6 till 6, every club at this moment in time that's running cash games from 6 p.m. till 6 in the morning, the Bad Beat jackpot currently stands at £200,000.
That is crazy.
You will get a chunk of money if you lose with quad fours or better. You'll get a slice of it if you win the hand. Everybody at the table will get a slice of it, and every person sat in another club playing cash poker will get a slice of it as well. And then when it resets at this moment in time, it's going to reset with £100,000 to start with.
That's great.
Just absolutely amazing. Joe Kershaw says, stop skitting us seniors. They're getting great numbers, they really are. They're getting some good turnouts, and it's really good to see that 77 at the minute here in Leeds. We are still on 10 in the main. We've got 2 tables of 5. Good luck to Andy Morgan from Aiden. Bring it back to the club. Which club is that? Tell us what club it is. Don't just say bring it back to the club. There's a few clubs around. Or is it bring it back to the club as in this club? As in Leeds, Westgate? And Sharon, local lady as well. She was loving the live stream over the last few days. She's been watching it, she's been telling us. We've had gifts from viewers from last night. We had a box of celebrations,
which is now just a box of bounties.
Oh, excellent. I love bounty. Love one of them. The box of bounties. So yeah, we've had a great week in Leeds, and we'll do it all again next week in Edinburgh.
Sylvia, so you old enough to play the seniors event yet, Tower? You are? You're 50, what are you, 51? 52?
Whoa, chill out.
53?
Yes, I am. I'm old enough, just.
For you know, it'll be at the Super Seniors in the WSOP.
Absolutely. Can't wait to rail on one of those
Electric scooters.
electric scooter rail that goes up at the Super Seniors.
It was great. The last WSOP, someone posted on Twitter, the Super Seniors is today, and you just saw all the electric scooters right beside the side of the tables. It'll be 70 to play that one, I believe. And Chris King rooting for Andy Morgan. But we are 5-handed on both tables. Once we lose one more, it will be FT time. Probably be a short 5-10 minute break while we get everything set up for the final table, but we need to lose one more and we will be there, everyone. In with a shot still, taking home £72,000. So Andrew shoving 13.5 big blinds with the ace queen. Just Sharon folds the pocket fives, and Elliot here in the big blind with king 10 off. Don't think he's going to be calling this one. There it goes into the muck. Blind on blind. Elliot just going to complete from the looks of things. I know he's raised it up, and Andrew's going to have an easy shove here. 13 big blinds, blind on blind. This should be going all in from him. If it doesn't, I will be shocked. There's the all in. Snap fold from Elliot. No need to tank.
Still on 10. Richard Cantrell, is there any way of getting unbanned from Grosvenor casinos? I don't know if it involves yourself or not, but reinstatement at rank.com is the address, I do believe. I don't know what it's regarding, I don't know who it's regarding or anything, so just or go into your local club, ask to see somebody, if you can get it resolved locally. That's all I could advise. Intrepid reporter says Wolves are winning, whoever they are. Who scored?
I don't know.
Have you backed Wolves?
I've got a Spurs Wolves double today. I had a little £100 on a Spurs Wolves double. So it's 10 to 1, Tower.
Really?
10 to 1. I thought I'd go with Nuno's old team and Nuno's new team and get the old double in there. I can't win any of these trebles. I might as well try and do a double, and if that don't work, I'll start doing singles. And if that don't work, I won't bet. You can place your own bets as well on the Grosvenor Sportsbook. Not just poker on there on the Grosvenor client. Do have a sportsbook on there as well.
So we're still on 10. Uh-oh. My camera's froze. Oh my dear. Oh no.